Hey, little buddy. Whew. Shadow and I have come up to the claim site, and I wasn't going to do a video. I just kind of wanted to wander around and explore a few of the areas that hitherto I have not explored, but we're finding good stuff. So I decided, let's pull out the camera because we might just be coming up on a beautiful vein, and I wouldn't want to miss it. I wouldn't want you to miss out on it. So this is a perfect example, this volcanic outcropping. And Shadow's going to help me look. In fact, what did you just find right there, Shadow? What is that right there? Yeah, that's a piece right there, sure enough. Small piece, but we'll find more. It comes right out of the volcanic rock here. It forms in the seams and the crevices. That's a beautiful hue right there. Beautiful lavender purple hues. So I suspect that we will probably find it, a vein of it, right here. And I honestly didn't know that this outcropping existed, because where I typically go is on the other side of that mountain. That mountain is dolomite, not lava. And on the other side, that's where the claim is, the center of the claim. So over on this section, I didn't expect to find this, and I'm pleasantly surprised. Let's see if we can find a big chunk of it coming right out of the lava rock. When we get back, I'll show you some final tumbled and polished chalcedony from this area. It's spectacular. Really, really excited about how it turned out. I've got a whole bunch more in the tumbler. This is the first batch that's come out. It's really hard, so it takes longer to tumble and round off and get it to the point where you want to run through the final stage. But I've got a batch ready. I think you're going to like it. This is a good little area. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that color. Oh boy, that is gorgeous. It is truly lapidary grade. What a beautiful night. It is evening. We came up a little later in the day. Been working all day, so you can see the sun is up there. We have probably about another 4 hours, maybe 3 to 4 hours of daylight. And the clouds are out, and that's nice. It keeps it cool. Sometimes Shadow finds the best stuff. I kid you not. Sometimes he digs places, and I look to see what he's digging at, and it may not be like, I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes I find things like right next to it, like I am right now. It's a nice piece right there. Clean that up. That's another one of those angular seam agates that I find. And then this green here, that's got that olivine mixed in with it, you see. There's a big sized piece on this end. Yeah, Shadow may not always know it, and maybe it's just dumb luck, but when he digs someplace, if I go check it out, I often find something really close to it, or maybe even in the hole. I know he doesn't know what he's doing. I think it's just dumb luck, but it's kind of a fun game we play. So often I will find this beautiful seam agate in these seams of the volcanic outcroppings, just like this. And there we go. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. Look at all of that. This is all that beautiful purple chalcedony. And it's mixed in, you see, with the olivine. Now to get that out, I need to come back up, really work carefully. And I did not come today with that in mind. That is where this is formed. It's so cool to see how nature creates things. So volcanic activity, followed by geothermal activity. The water brought with it silica mixed with other elements. That's what gives it some of the color. And that fills in these cracks and crevices. And then heat and pressure from the earth solidify it over time. That's a big piece right there. And you get this beautiful, beautiful stuff. Now, look at that. See, there's a lot of green in there. Yeah, I really would have to work on that. So I'll GPS mark this spot. I know where to come back. But for tonight, I'm going to... Ooh, I can see more of it up there as well. Look at that. And all through there. So for tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check out all along down here where it would have broken off and tumbled down. And we'll see what we can find. I think that's a plan, Stan. There's a piece in there. Well, since I dug so hard for it, I'll take it. I'm just digging right beneath that outcropping. I didn't find anything spectacular, but I found these. And this one's interesting because it's botryoidal again. That would have been the form or shape of the host. So as the volcanic rock cooled, there were bubbles in there. And that's why that is botryoidal. I just stuck this one up together, right? I mean, it's got a lot of host on there. I might just leave that one. Okay, we'll make our way down further, see what we find. Just laying around. I do believe it might rain. It might be raining over there. We may have to hoof it back. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, that's gorgeous. I think that's the best piece we've found tonight. Awesome. Right by this cactus. Oh, that is pretty. That is really beautiful. Again, we're getting, that's orange in there. That is orange. Isn't that something? And there's some of that in there too. Really cool. You know, I can't help but wonder, has anybody walked before right where I'm walking? It's very possible. No. Not for many, many hundreds of years maybe, or ever. I mean, this is just vast territory out here. And it's a hike to get out to these areas. All right, what do we got here? is kind of cool. Yeah, that's a beautiful one. Absolutely beautiful. Let's show it with the green in the background. Gorgeous. And more. This beautiful stuff. Again, triangular shaped. Look at that, just all in this one little spot. Okay, so this hillside makes its way down to a ravine that I call the Mystery Ravine because I've rock hounded along it. Which one's to pick up? Maybe that one. This one. This one. My hand can't carry them all. Come on. All right. So I want to make my way down to the Mystery Ravine, which had a lot of variety of different things in it. This one here, this is, now that is a green piece of chalcedony with the olivine in it. I'd like to find more of that. That's pretty cool. So, you know, ravines and riverbeds are awesome places to rockhound because things have washed down from above, and then every time it rains hard out in this part of the country, when it rains hard. It washes more down. It also tumbles these rocks around and uncovers things that were before covered. So, you know, if you walked the same place a couple of months earlier, it might have different rocks exposed after a good hard rainstorm. I even found what I think is marble in here, which makes sense because there's sandstone in here as well. And up further, you see evidence that this was an ancient seabed that was thrust up, and seabeds are made of, you know, sand and shells of things that have, you know, lived and they die and they fall down to the bottom of the ocean or the sea, and they form a layer of calcium, you know, calcium carbonate, and it turns into limestone, and limestone under continued heat and pressure will turn into marble. Well, I've made it down further down the Mystery Ravine than I usually go, and look, we have running water. Oh boy, he's going to be muddy. Oh well, by the time we make it back to the truck, he won't be, but I guess the question I have is it running? Well, yeah, it's running. It's a trickle, but it's running. So that's a good sign. It's a really good sign. I'm going to have to explore way up there someday. That's all there is to it. Oh, wow. Look at that. Now that, I believe, is dolomite. Okay, I don't want to have to walk through this stuff. That will be too hard, and I don't want to have to hike up that. Maybe we can get around this and then start cutting over. You never know what we're going to find, though, right? Okay, something's been around here before, because there's a trail And I can guarantee it wasn't made by people. Actually, this is really good to know there's water here. You know, in an emergency situation. Okay, I think we can get out around here. Wow, that water makes a difference with regards to trees and things. I really want to get up and out of here. Let's try this way. Almost like a form of limestone right there. Look at that root growing through it. Who knows what we might find here between here and the way back. This is kind of where I want to cut over. Never been right here before, but I need to get on the other side of those mountains. And it's getting late. And it looks like it might rain, so I better pick up my pace. Well, I'm a huffing and a puffing because I'm not lost in the sense of I know which direction to go, but I think I went further west than I realized. Now I'm sorry, further south than I realized. Now I'm cutting over east, and I may have to go back up north a little bit. But the sun only sets in one direction. But while I'm getting back, look at this. Look at that. Now that has green chalcedony in it, and that is what I've been looking and looking and looking for. True microcrystalline green chalcedony. That is rare. That is rare. So I am GPSing this location, and I'm going to come back and work on that. I might try to take out that whole rock. Wow, that's really cool. Wouldn't you agree, Shadow? That is really, really cool. Okay, I'm going to GPS it. I've got 2% battery left. I'm going to make this fast. I'm not lost because the sun sets in the east, and I know I'm parked over there somewhere, but it's getting dark, and I got a long ways to go. I went way further deeper than I realized. But look what I found. Look at this beautiful Botryoidal Chalcedony. I mean, that is just gorgeous. So I have found green chalcedony that I did not know existed. And now this beautiful purple thing. So I have a whole new area that I ought to come back and really explore. And it's way far away from the claim site. I had no idea how far and how deep I'd gone. I'm going to run out of battery. I got to shut this off. All right, I ran out of juice on my GoPro, but you can probably hear a vehicle in the background. The road is about a mile below. Whew, I made it out. I went way off course. I don't get lost because I know which direction is east and west and north and south. But look at this sunset. I just had to show you the sunset. It's just spectacular. I'm going to try and film it on the other side of the camera and not on the selfie mode. Let me do that and see if I can get a better image. But look at those beautiful skies. Jeez. Wow. Oh, it's like the rocks. So much color to them. All right. Straight down ahead, you see the road, and I'm not far off that. Whew, I'm exhausted. Okay, see you back at the truck. Well, Shadow and I made it back to the truck. We made it home. It's a few days later, and I'm going to show you some of the tumbled rock from the claim site and the surrounding area. Now, I have in the garage two 3-pound tumblers, 2 4-pound tumblers, and 1 12-pound tumbler, going pretty much day and night, 24/7. But I just finished one small 3-pound tumbler of the rock from the claim site, and it's a hard rock, so it takes longer than normal to get it rounded down enough and put it through the final stages and so forth. But I'm anxious to show it to you. I'm just going to show you a few other things that I have found in the southern Utah, greater St. George area. I think it's really interesting. But first, so from the claim site, and if you hear any noises, that's Shadow over there eating. So the rock, as you recall, in the raw, comes, we find it like that. And this particular shape, where there's like 2 or 3 different angles and layers coming together in the center, and sometimes the center is actually crystallized, visible crystals. But this is a very common shape. This one is one of my favorite ones because it's still attached to the host, and I think that's just really cool, the way that, is springing up out of the host like that. But you see that purple hue, and I want to point that out because you see that purple hue in most of these samples, that you find up there. Well, now we have final finished run through about 2.5 months of tumbling, and I'm going to take some pictures out in the natural light because it does it better justice. But the purple hue is diminished greatly. Some of these pieces are like almost pure white. This one is essentially just as, clear. There's a little bit of a hue to it. And then when I take one like this, and it still has some of the host attached to it because it was so bent with, in and around a host, that host is still there. And in that host, there's a lot of olivine. And when I look at this through the light, I see the purple hue, even the final finished tumbled product, because it still has some of that host to it. And so that, I think, is where the purple comes from. The purple comes from that green olivine that is, mixed in predominantly with the host along the crust of the rock. See if I can find another example. This is a good example, yeah. That you see, this is a big one, and all that purple, and there's still all of this in the back of it. But when I take pieces like this and I run them through the tumbler, there's still a little bit of a hue, but a lot of that's gone. So I think the actual chalcedony is predominantly clear. There's inclusions and things in it, but it is a very clear rock. And I do believe now, here's one that's kind of cool because it was, that's the triangular shape that we find so much of. It kind of folds in on itself. And there's still a hue to it, but it's got, some of the crust still on it. It was so embedded in that there's still, I'd have to tumble that for a long time to get all of that off, and I'm not sure I want to. So the mystery, is unraveling. We have determined, and with Sarah and Jared's help from Currently Rockhounding, this green is predominantly olivine. We determined that, and the purple hue tends to lessen significantly when I take it and run it through the tumbler. Now I'm looking through this light here, and it's kind of hard for you to see this, but there's still a purple hue, but not nearly as pronounced.
So that tells me the actual chalcedony itself is rather clear, pure. So there's some of the rock from the claim site. Now this is kind of interesting. This is a piece of hematite, and this came from above Gunlock Reservoir, and there's quite a bit of hematite up there. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Hematite mixed with jasper, I should say. It's jasper banded hematite. Really cool stuff. This is a great big chunk of it, and I kind of like it because it looks sort of like an axe. And it would make a good weapon. These are heavy. This beautiful jasper is from Holt Canyon. And all of this here, right here, is from Holt Canyon. And it's in abundance. I mean, it's just spectacular. Spectacular jasper. And I mean, you can't help but just stumble across it when you go up Holt Canyon. Now this rock here, this is from Brian Head. And Brian Head also, I've done videos on all of these locations. Also, it's just amazing. And some of this, when you look through it, is really, really beautiful. I'm going to just grab the camera actually and just kind of bring it around here. And I'm hoping that that shows through. How beautiful that is. And that one there. And this stuff here, since I got the camera, so this is off the Arizona Strip. I kept finding these tubular, hard mystery rock. And I ran into the tumbler. It's definitely silicate. It's very hard. And I believe it's a limb cast. Roots or branches from trees. And it was in a calcite host. It was very interesting. The video on that area was the Paiute Wilderness Area video. This is all from the claim site. This is the hematite video. This is up near Brian Head. This here is all from Eureka. Eureka. And it's a gorgeous yellow jasper. Look at that. Is that not just beautiful? A spectacular jasper up there. A little fragmented, but tumbles up nice. And then we have petrified wood. You know, petrified wood, all around this area you can find petrified wood. Petrified wood is, I just think, super cool. You know, as the biomatter disintegrated, it was replaced with silicate, became agatized. So there you go, hematite from Upper Gunlock, the claim site, Brian Head, Eureka, all around the Hurricane area predominantly, Holt Canyon. I hope you enjoyed coming on this little adventure. You know, I am an amateur. I learn along with you. I learn a lot from you. People leave comments that help me understand some of the stuff that I'm gathering and looking at. So feel free to comment if you would like to add anything or ask questions. And we always have fun, Shadow and I, when you come along with us on our adventures, and we hope to see you on future adventures of Shadow.